welcome back to Feedback Loop. It's your boy Jeremy,
And the other boy, Joey.
and we're talking about music this week. The music that we did listen to.
Yeah, we didn't do anything actually. We listened
you don't
to
know
it,
that. We could have written an album this past week and nobody would know.
but it wasn't the one that we're reviewing today.
Correct. The one that we are reviewing today is the album Berries Alive by the artist Berried Alive. Puns all around on bears and berries.
Yeah, because it's not even the same berry pun. It's
Right.
like buried like a strawberry, which there is also a pun on strawberry
There is.
later. But then berries is like a teddy bear. I'm guessing named Barry, and it's like Berries Alive, like he is alive again.
You know, I didn't think that much into the album title, to be honest. I just like, it's a pun. He likes puns.
You should have. Sure.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't. Other things that I didn't look into as much, the album art.
Oh.
Pretty cool album art, I suppose, for what it is. It's like it's a teddy bear, because it's Berries Alive with it looks like his brain's getting blown out from two different directions.
Yeah.
Either from gunshots or from just his mind being blown. It's pretty unclear. There are no bullets or guns in the picture. So, but he's got a little tattoo, I guess, on his snout that is the Berried Alive logo, which is a strawberry and crossbones is their logo. Pretty cool. I just, before we get into the actual album, I wanna address something, and that is, there was some controversy of whether or not Charles Caswell, which is the lead guitarist and singer and songwriter for Berried Alive, there's some controversy over whether or not he can actually play his songs. People have been like implying that he's either programming it or he's like speeding it up after recording it at a slower tempo because he does some very like, it's like technical death metal kind of thing, but it's very fast paced. And a lot of it, the effects that he puts on his guitar sound like they're like MIDI samples, or like that. It just doesn't sound realistic. I'm not taking a firm stance one way or the other, but I don't think it actually matters to me, because like, I don't know, when you think of like classical composers, like they don't necessarily play all the instruments or know how to play all the instruments, and they're not able to do that most of the time. They just write the music for the instruments and for the pieces, and they see it as a full thing, and nobody gives a shit. So like there's that, but also like electronic music is such a big thing nowadays, and it doesn't require any like technical proficiency to perform. But the fact of the matter is he makes some cool ass music, and I don't really give a shit how. If he speeds it up, then like whatever. But
I mean, I'm in the same camp. Like, if you write it, then you wrote the music. Like,
right.
I'm hearing the music that you wrote, however it happened to get into my ears, however you produced it. Like, it, as long as it ends up sounding good, cool. I don't care personally if he can play it. He could be as skilled on a guitar as I am and write this music. I'm not gonna think
it's still impressive.
Yeah, like, and by the way, I'm not skilled. That wasn't supposed to be like he could be as
good as Joey.
He could be as bad as me and write this music. But now I will add the caveat. If this dude's going around like, I am a guitar god, kneel before, like if he's running around like rubbing it in everybody's faces. But I feel like he's probably not. So
he's not. He seems like he's a pretty cool guy.
So it's really irrelevant.
Yeah, and he wrote, there's another song that's not on this album, that's not on any album, but one of his newer singles is called Blood Orange, that I made Joey listen to last week after the episode. And that song's been like an earworm for me for the past like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And that song he's like talking about, he's calling out all of his haters that are saying that he speeds up his shit. So who fucking knows? He's obviously getting defensive about it, because why wouldn't you if you're actually playing this shit and people are saying, nah, he's just speeding it up, like that's an insult. Like, I get it. But I'm not taking a firm stance either way, because it's cool as fuck music, and that's all I give a shit about.
Nice.
With that out of the way, what did you think of track number 1, Pun of You Left?
Okay. So Jeremy, I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
So, this whole time he had been hyping up Berried Alive and everything.
Yeah.
You had been like...
It's been weeks that I've been talking about Berried Alive.
And he's like, I don't know, I kind of got the impression that they were like, just a metal band, you know? Just dude making some metal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you guys know that's not what this is. That's this. I mean, it is. There is metal,
Yeah,
but like this song starting off with like an electro drum machine, like synth type thing. It has like I don't know. It's like I like it. I'll go ahead and say that I like it, and it's really impressive. And Blood Orange, ever since you made me listen to that song, it's just been stuck in my head. Like this,
yeah,
like okay, so going back to the whole whether or not he actually plays stuff, like I've watched a few of his videos on YouTube, and
yeah. He does actually do like live playthroughs of him playing the songs now, and I think that's a product of him getting kind of defensive because people were saying that he couldn't play it. So now
yeah,
he's posting videos of him playing like a lot of his solos and songs and stuff.
and like I always thought, like looking at Tom Morello from a guitar effects like sound tone type
Yeah,
point of view, not like comparing them on technical skill or whatever, or even really like it's a valid comparison because Tom Morello did a lot of like all of his stuff was like analog type
yeah.
stuff, and this is you can tell
It's digital,
it's
right?
digital, but he's still playing it like making a guitar sound that way. He does some extremely impressive stuff as far as like getting guitar note. There's so many things on here that I didn't think was a guitar at first.
Yeah,
Like, and then I watch him play it or I like listen closer and it is a guitar. Like somehow he's like making all of these crazy ass sounds and these crazy ass guitar runs and everything, and it's just him playing guitar through like a program, I guess.
yeah. I don't know if you saw, but Tom Morello actually tweeted or retweeted him playing Blood Orange, and he was like giving him praise, like this is cool as shit. I wish more people were doing things like this,
I
which
didn't.
kind of sparked a lot of that controversy. Is that like, oh, like Tom Morello's like retweeting it, and that got a lot of obviously that got a lot of traction, a lot of views and stuff, and so people were shitting on Charles Caswell from Berried Alive on that thread, I guess.
Well, fuck the haters, as I'm sure Charles Caswell would say.
Yeah,
But so this one, like with the opening, like the electro drum machine type, it has like kind of a hip hop like rap type feel
yeah,
in a lot of the songs, but in this song, like that's part of it that I wasn't really expecting. And throughout this song and throughout the rest of the album, I kind of got the vibe that like this is like a resurgence of like rap metal that would have came out in like 2000s, but they're doing it right now
yeah.
instead of like they like looked back at it and they were like, okay, what the fuck was all of that?
And
We're
how can I improve on it?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna do this the right way and incorporate like the extreme technical death metal type stuff, but also like some extremely cool like beats and
yeah.
electronic music into it. It's
Yeah,
it's cool.
it's kind of a big mishmash of like kind of trappy hip hop beats and like electronic music and like you said technical death metal. I think it
Yeah,
works fucking great, which is why I've been raving about Buried Alive for the past 4 weeks because it's just it's like popcorn for my ears.
popcorn.
Yeah, it's just you just keep eating it over and over again. You can't stop eating popcorn once you have it.
But
I
yeah,
know you specifically can't.
well, yeah, I can. What are you talking about?
You're always eating popcorn
No,
nonstop.
I do love popcorn actually. But that's not that's there's no popcorn puns on here, so
That's true.
but so I don't know. It blew me away the first time I listened to it. I I will admit this type of music isn't typically what I would if I'm sitting down listening to music, it's not what I would like typically choose to listen to at this point
Right.
in my life. But I'm very glad that we listened to it this week because I've been needing a refresher. And this I don't know how else to put it. It like beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's very genty.
Yeah. Yeah, Gent. Okay, Gent. I haven't listened to like a whole lot of Gent, but I will
Me
say,
either.
oh, well then
I
you know,
just that's I mean it's the sound of that guitar. Like he does a lot
yeah,
of like genty breakdowns and stuff where it's just like it's gent.
yeah. But pun of you left. It was a strong opener, but it I feel like it didn't adequately wet my palate. I feel like that happened in a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. There's this one like I don't know, especially being an introduction to Berried Alive, obviously you listened to Blood Orange before,
Yeah.
but there's so much happening, and there's because the way that it's all like blended together, there's so many layers. It's kind of overwhelming, but I think it works in a very like chaotic and fun way. But yeah, it goes hard. It punches you. It assaults you this entire album. Well, not the entire album. Most of the album.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's just like you're getting beaten within an inch of your life by this music. It's pretty fucking cool though. I like it.
I'm gonna take you back to that point
Okay.
a little bit later, but I don't know. Like I don't know how to properly describe all of the music because
Yeah.
it's so like I don't know. It's very. If anybody out there has ever listened to Infected Mushroom, which was
Yeah.
almost what I was gonna put next week, it kind of reminds me of a metal version of that. Like it's got a little bit like almost an industrial feel because of the mix of electro and
Yeah.
metal, but it's like wrapped into a package where they put like trap beats and like rap type. Like his delivery sounds like rap at points.
Yeah. Even though like he does a lot of harsh like metal growling vocals,
Yeah.
he kind of raps it almost, I guess, comparable to like Slipknot
Mm-hmm.
in that way, where Corey Taylor just kind of like, I just triggered myself by saying his name, where Corey Taylor,
Corey motherfucking Taylor,
where he growls a lot of his lyrics, but it's also kind of like rappy and a lot of the older Slipknot stuff.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lyrically, this one, it seemed to me that it was just like he's tired of feeling used, so he's gonna go on a killing spree and murder the world, which is kind of a recurring theme throughout this album.
Yeah, they're very metal lyrics, like very they just tell stories. Not the whole album isn't just single songs telling one single story. Like there are certain I feel like there's certain runs where it's like 2 or 3 tracks in a row tell a story or just quite a few, but it definitely has like a metal vocal feel where it's like this song is just about literally killing everybody, not like like actually everybody. Like the title is Pun of You Left. It's a pun on none of you left because he loves puns, but he's gonna leave literally nobody alive.
Yeah, he says, I'm now out to prove that if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And this whole song, since it is Berries Alive, and there's a teddy bear, I just like throughout the whole song, I imagined this big giant teddy bear literally just like killing everybody. But
yeah, and I think it's appropriate imagery because again, the Blood Orange video. I don't know if you watched the video for it, but that's pretty much what's happening in the Blood Orange video. It's a giant orange that's just murdering and eating bananas and other fruits and shit.
Hell yeah.
Banana's technically a berry, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, if I was to pick a murdering fruit, I would definitely pick a slaughtermelon, that's for sure.
Got it. Easy.
Boom.
Easy game. I was wondering how well we'd be able to do this because like every track almost is a pun.
Yeah.
So
I'll throw them in where I can. And
track number 2 is Slaughtermelon. Joey pulled it off somehow. This one immediately comes in with the heavy, like thick, genty kind of guitars, and then some more like it almost sounds like a synth.
Yeah.
This is the first track where he does a lot of tapping on his guitar on his fretboard, and then he like sends it through his processing and stuff. But it sounds like it's a synth pretty much the way he's tapping on his guitar. This one has like a groove metal kind of section in the chorus with the clean vocals in it, and I really fucking like it. I like this kind of aesthetic. That's why I like Blood Orange, where like he has a lot of that growly vocal stuff that's just like super heavy metal, kind of just punching you in the ears, but there's also a bit more like groovy kind of choruses with the clean vocals and stuff like that. And I really like that about a lot of his music.
Yeah, this is more of what I was expecting, honestly. Like the way that this song started off, it starts off more in the kind of metal style, and whatever the synths or keys or whatever, they just go absolutely nuts. Like it, especially during like the breakdown bridge portion that just goes insane. Like it's like there's a completely different song stuffed inside of this one, much like the stuffing of a teddy bear just gets stuffed inside of this one, and it's like, but it works. Like it still follows the same general kind of feel as the rest of the song, I think, but it's just like it adds a more chaotic element to the song.
Yeah, it has kind of like a weird, he does this on a couple of songs where he'll have the song either start with kind of that hip-hoppy trappy feeling and then have like a thick metal breakdown, or he'll do the opposite where it'll start kind of more heavy and the main meat of the song is heavy and then the breakdown will be more like trappy or hip-hoppy kind of thing. And that's what's happening in this one. Like there's kind of this weird trap beat of a breakdown with a lot of like tapped guitar notes and that synth kind of sound that you were saying. It caught me off guard as well, but I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound... No, you know what? It's not gonna sound bad. Like, the breakdown, like, it is completely 100% like electro craziness, but it makes me think of like back when the breakdown was a huge thing in like scene metal and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think somebody heard that and then was like, I can make an awesome electronic version of it. Like it captures that same feel, but it just does it in a completely new way.
Yeah, kind of that edgy, like shitty, like Broken Side kind of style, like screamo rap kind of thing.
Yeah, like I feel like he took, and not to say that specifically he does it, because I know there's other people out there doing not this, but they're doing things similar to this with, I'd say, less electronic and more typical metal feel, but they're doing like the crazy effects and the tapping and stuff, but he's just taking it to another level. I feel like he took so many genres that sucked and was just like, this is what I grew up on. I'm gonna be the redemption.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it good.
Yeah, and
I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, I would listen to this. I wouldn't listen to Broken Side. So
that's fair. Yeah, and then like about a minute from the end, the song kind of like stops and fades out, and it's kind of this gotcha moment when he sing. There's like a vocal sample of him singing "We Are All Lost," and then there's another huge like unexpected metal drop to kind of round out the end of the track that caught me off guard. But yeah, it's fucking cool. I like it. I like breakdowns, so whatever.
Yeah, as evidenced by the cool, I guess they weren't breakdowns, but they were bridges in the Chevelle album. It's got some cool,
dude.
Bridges.
Speaking side note, for those of you guys who listened to Chevelle's Sci-Fi Crimes with us and enjoyed that, they just released their new album this past Friday, as of us recording this anyway, and that album's fucking fantastic. You should go listen to that album as well. But that's for another episode, perhaps.
Jeez, Jeremy.
Sorry, you mentioned Chevelle. I had to shout out my boys because
no, I mean
they're fucking great.
Yeah,
this new album is like it's giving Sci-Fi Crimes a run for its money for my favorite Chevelle album.
Oh fuck! Okay, okay.
I need more time with it, but we'll come back to that at some point maybe. Lyrically, the song, it seemed like he was kind of dwelling on his own mental instability and talking about how he feels the world is ending and how he's tortured by fear and needing to clear his mind so he doesn't just like fall off the face of the earth or do something kind of drastic.
Yeah, this one, it's like people are destroying their own lives, and I mean, I think I don't know, he's talking, I guess, about himself, but I saw it as like a humanity type thing.
Yeah,
but
it's super unclear. He does that a lot on this album, I think, where it's not entirely clear whether he's referring to himself or someone specific or just like a vague everyone else kind of thing. But I don't know. I tend to think that if the singer is singing it, then they at least somewhat feel that way.
Yeah,
about themselves.
They probably do. I was going to try to make some sort of pun, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So the next song is Frutality.
Frutality, which sounds like brutality,
yeah,
but also kind of makes you think of like fatality, right?
Yeah, fatality. I had 3 written down, which the third one is futility, but that's more due to the lyrical content.
Yeah,
but it doesn't really fit with the sound. But it was still like frutality, I don't know.
But if it was futility, then he could have said frutility, right?
That's true. You know,
so maybe that was a pun that was just better than what he could come up with, and he's kicking himself now that he's listened to our podcast for not naming it Frutility.
Well, if you come out with a remix of Frutality and call it Frutility, let me know.
Yeah, Joey wants his royalty check.
Yeah, I should have 2 royalty checks coming my way, but I can't talk about one of them because it would reveal my personal life too much. But I don't know why I brought that up. It's not. It's just like a
because it was relevant. We were talking about it today.
yeah.
But yeah, Frutality, it starts with kind of some like dancey synth. Again, it's not super clear whether the synth is actually him playing guitar with some like crazy effects or whatever, but it's a synthy kind of dancey beat kind of thing that kind of makes it feel like it would be like a drum and bass track. But
Yeah.
then this like off kilter thick guitar riff comes in with the vocals before just getting like smashed into like a full gent metal kind of assault, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun.
The opening of this song is where I really made a connection to Infected Mushroom, which I know
Yeah.
that probably like I don't know if you listen to them, but they're a very like hard electronic. They're rock and like they do some like metal type stuff, but they're very much in that. And I feel like this is like the alternate universe where they just like took the metal portion of their sound and just went all the way in, and we're just
Yeah.
like we're going fucking balls to the wall on this metal electronic stuff. And yeah, this one I feel like this one has, as crazy as this sounds, I feel like this song has even more variety
Yeah.
than the previous songs. I mean, it's the longest track on the album,
Right.
so he has more time. But this song, it's got like industrial vibes in there. I feel like it's got definitely got the electro and the metal and the kind of rap trap, I guess,
Yeah.
type sound. But there's also I don't know, like right before it, an intense guitar solo, like a ridiculous guitar solo. But
Right.
right before it, so it's got like this a breakdown,
Yes.
an intense breakdown that just goes nuts, and then it like slows down, like slower than the previous songs have been, with
Yeah.
this like choppy and grindy sound coming in right before that guitar solo. It's just like it's like 5 or 6 different songs cohesivized together. And this is where I have a bone to pick with you, Jeremy.
Okay.
So I like this. You like
Sure.
this, right?
I do. Yeah.
We both like this song.
Are you about to pull Zach Hill into this?
I'm about to pull Zach Hill into this.
Lay it on me.
So it was just, and I thought about this even more so in the next song, but since I'm already opening this can of
Sure.
worms, I'm going to do it. But so one of your complaints is about Zach Hill having no chill. There is -50 chill. Like this has a wind chill of like -100 degrees Celsius,
Yeah.
and it's just like I guess that has a lot of chill. This
That's
has
a lot of chill.
this has
It's a scorching summer.
yeah, it's a scorching summer, and it's just all over the place in a good way. In a good way,
Yeah.
it's got extreme variety, and he does it all well. And that was one of your main complaints on
That's
the
true.
Hell album.
It's true. I think the distinction being that like the Hell album, I was already like not super into the music style itself,
Okay.
and then just that added layer of like the drums just being constant. It's a constant barrage of like drum sounds, which I guess you could argue is also in here, but it fits more in here because this is like the genty kind of heavier metal is kind of known for that, right? Like it's
Okay.
it's not as out of place here, in my opinion.
But
Maybe I need to revisit the Hella album.
it's out of place in a math rock album, Jeremy.
Yeah, it is to me.
You know, I'll kind of give you that because that is kind of true. But I don't know.
But yeah, so after this face melting solo, there's like there's kind of like a switch up at the end that has some light vibey synth melody over another like hip hoppy beat, and then it has some more like happy synths that come in, and then it switches to like a cleaner piano melody to just kind of like round out the song in a very chill and like calming way after the frutality that was the rest of the song. It's kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you're some sort of dingleberry.
Dingleberry. Hold on. I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Dingleberry.
Premature segue. I'm sorry.
Premature Dingleberry.
Premature Dingleberry. That's our next band name.
Yeah. Oh my God. So the lyrics, I'm bringing this in.
I totally skipped over it.
I'm bringing this in because it kind of ties in to something later. But
Yeah.
This song, the reason I thought the pun might have been futility is this song is just about like being sick of the world. Like you're just like depressed, thinking like I mean, thinking like suicidal thoughts. You're like, fuck
Mhm.
everything that's going to happen. I just want it to end, and just being completely fed up and done with it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a very, very introspective, depressive
Yeah.
type of song, and I just wanted to put that out there before I loop back to it later. So
Yeah, because it does come up again, I
yeah,
think. It's one of the themes. So like the two themes thus far on the album is like him talking about wanting to kill everybody, and then him talking about wanting to kill himself. It's very very violent, and yeah, I guess it's what you expect with metal to
yeah,
some extent, but very depressive.
yeah,
And this song specifically,
yeah. And you're a dingleberry for skipping over the lyrics.
it sure was. Track number 4 is Dingleberries, which isn't really a pun. I suppose it's a pun. Well, it's not. I guess it's not really a pun because
It's just the word.
it's just. I mean, the word itself is a pun, I suppose, because it's not
Yeah,
an actual berry. But like, he didn't make an additional pun on top of the word dingleberry because dingleberry is already about berries. Which
yeah,
not saying I'm disappointed. It still fits. He's buried alive. Every text berry related in some sort. But yeah, this one has kind of like this. He does this a couple times on this album, I think, where it almost sounds carnival-esque with the riffs and the arpeggios and stuff that he plays on his guitar, and
yeah,
then he'll splash in these crazy ass blast beats on the drums, which are clearly programmed, I think, because I don't know if a human can produce fucking crisp, clean kicks as fast as are on this, but
yeah,
I don't think he's claiming to drum on them anyway. But I don't know. This track feels a lot different in a lot of ways, and I'm not really sure that I'm into it as much as a lot of the other ones on this album, where this one kind of feels a lot more like dense and chaotic, but it also has kind of a one note to it where it doesn't feel like it evolves as much. And then halfway through, it does evolve. And I really like this mid section that goes on because there's like a change of tempo and there's like layered modulated vocals and stuff. The mid section is really nice, but like outside of that, which is I guess is a really stupid thing to say. Like, yeah, other than all the changes, it doesn't change. But I don't know. It just the I guess the beginning and the outro sections don't really do it for me. But that middle section is pretty good.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like coming off of the heels of Fruitality, where it's
Yeah,
like
that's fair as well.
this craziness for 6.5 minutes. This is, I mean, to only have one change is kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, man, we know you can do better.
No offense to you, Charles, if you're
Yeah,
listening.
yeah, I do like that the kind of I guess slower, cleaner part in the middle too, though. Like, I kind of wish it was longer,
Yeah.
but I didn't write the song and I couldn't. So what am I doing?
I mean, someday you could, but you didn't.
Yeah, I never
Lyrically,
I could never write this song. So
well, yeah, the song's already been written.
yeah,
You could write a cover of it, perhaps. Change some things up.
that's true.
But
Lyrically,
yeah, yeah, this one had kind of a similar sentiment to Pun of You Left, where he's just talking about murdering the world, but it seemed more focused and pointed at like one person,
yeah,
where it seems like he's talking about that someone had lied to him or was like using him for their own success. And Charles was like, "Fuck that shit! Like, I'm gonna kill you! Like, it's you're worthless to me. I treated you like a brother, and you were fake the entire time. So now I'm gonna murder you and leave you in a dumpster."
yep. Which is surprisingly close to something else that happens later.
It's true.
You know, it's nuts because I feel like the person he's talking about in this song comes back later, but I also feel
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's hard to tell. Like I said, it's hard to tell a lot of the times if he's talking about himself, if he's talking about someone specific, or if he's talking about a vague other kind of figure.
All I know is the next song is the title track.
I guess that's a segue. Track number 5 is called "Berries Alive," which is
Yeah,
the title of the album. So
the eponymous track.
the eponymous.
It starts off. It's like it kind of sounds like the last level on a video game. Like
Yeah,
whenever they bring in like the crazy, fast like boss music, and
it's
then
very very like jaunty and jumpy.
yeah. But speaking to you thinking there's no human who could possibly play the drums on the last song, it has to be a drum machine. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't want to say double bass because it's like he has like two of those like double kick pedals and he's doing the heel toe
mm-hmm.
type thing on both of them. I mean, nobody's playing this, but
Right.
if I had to equate it to what somebody is playing, it's like, I don't know, the drummer from Nile can do some pretty crazy shit. I forget what his name is, but I don't know. I'm just dancing around it. But this drum or this bass drum part is like one long continuous note,
Yeah,
but it's just being played so fast that it's like a note, which is
it's
just
the
insane.
deadly hexy kicks.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. Like that's it feels like you're being punched in the head by 1,000 little tiny men.
Yeah. I also wrote face punching, so we're on the same page as far as getting beaten to death with this riff and the kicks and stuff in it.
Yeah. But you know, after the video games start and the one long continuous bass drum note, it's got like a pretty normal sounding metal chorus, like
Yeah,
comparative to a lot of the other stuff we've heard. Which I mean, it's nice. I like your typical metal chorus, so I mean, I'm not
I agree.
complaining. But yeah,
He has like there's like some washed out synths in these like bridge sections. I don't know. I guess they're labeled as chorus or pre-chorus or whatever. I didn't look at the shit while I was describing it, but it's kind of it gets kind of like music boxy
yeah,
in one of the section before the halfway mark. It kind of like gives it a darker or sadder tone, and then the clean vocals come in, and it's just like this chill vibe section, which is such a contrast to the introduction being just that wall of sound and kick drums that I really like. And then there's like an almost like power metal feel towards the end with the solo to kind of like build you back up, so it feels like the song's like I don't know. It feels kind of like an epic where there's like the introduction conflict and it goes down and de-escalates a bit and you're like feeling sad or whatever, and then you're like, but there's hope, and that kind of like solo kind of builds back the hope, I think, in
yeah,
that, and then it just goes right back into the fucking mosh pit with like the face punching ending, but it's kind of fun.
yeah. So far, out of the first 5 songs, I'd say I wrote that this is probably my favorite song so far. But thinking back on it now, I'm not 100% sure. But I'll stick by it since I wrote it as I was
Sure,
listening to the
you
album.
can't
So
change your mind.
yeah, I'm not allowed to change my mind. That's what this whole thing has been about. We're not allowed to change our mind ever.
This is permanent. This is going on the internet, and this is going to be the way we have to think for the rest of our lives.
But this song, it makes me think of stuff along the lines of like Polyphia, like Tim Henson, like the guitar player,
Yeah,
and just that type of guitar playing that's getting like pretty big now. And I mean, I love it. Like it's super awesome, and
yeah,
he's really fucking good at it. You put it into better words than I could because all I wrote was the guitar solo here is fucking awesome. That's just
yeah.
what I don't know. And
I mean, you can't really describe a guitar solo. Like
yeah,
solos are cool as shit, and especially when they're done like this and they're done well, especially within the context of the album. Like I don't know, it just feels good. A lot of them just feel good.
yeah, it feels so nice to hear. Like I have really long hair. No, I don't actually, but like in this scenario that I'm playing in my head,
Your
I have
hair grows out as you listen to the song.
yeah, and like the wind is blowing it's blowing my hair backwards, but the wind is blowing at my back at the same time. So
Yeah,
like it's
it's that
just
kind of like power metal feel that I was describing.
yeah, it's just so nice.
Feels
But
like you're going on some epic journey.
yeah, it's super cool. And lyric wise, this is back to that the two one of the two themes was suicide and
Yeah,
depression, and this is in the latter because it's I don't know, man. It sets up some stuff that I feel like is a pretty intense through line for a
yeah,
few songs, but it's just about like I think it's from like a friend's perspective of somebody who is going through some shit, but you're also going through some shit, but like I don't know, you're trying to help them, and you're like, I wish I could have helped you. Like I had my own shit going on, but I wish I could have helped you. And then they kill themselves, and
right.
you're left there, and it's like it's an intense subject matter, but like not necessarily just in this song, but in other songs, I feel like he does a really good job of talking about like the people who are left in the wake of
Mhm.
whenever that happens, like
Right.
the loved ones who are still there afterwards. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I got the same vibes. I said it kind of spins the perspective of frugality towards no longer him talking about killing himself, but talking about a friend that killed themselves, kind of a thing, and how he had wished that he knew what they were going through or the extent of it, so that he could have helped because he's been dealing with the shit, and it's like one part survivor's guilt, and then another part just like talking about the effect, like you said, that it has on everyone around you if you commit suicide or whatever. Which don't do it. I said it, I think was it last episode that we were talking about suicide? The episode before, fucking don't do it. It's a shitty thing to do, and I know you're feeling shitty, but fucking leave us a comment, shoot us an email, we'll talk to you if you just want someone to listen. I'll fucking be here for 100 million of you if we have that many listeners at some point.
I don't know if it's indicative of the type of music that we listen to, but I feel like on several occasions we've been like, this song's about suicide. Don't commit suicide. Which I mean, like, don't. Yeah. Of course, like Jeremy said. But it's like I feel like it's making me think about the type
of people we are.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god. I
think it's not that I've like genuinely considered suicide myself, but like it's a somewhat relatable, if not an extreme circumstance, right? Where like everyone's felt shitty, everyone's had down days, and some more than others, obviously. And I've never come to that extent of it, but it's I guess being empathetic, right? It's kind of cathartic, I guess, to listen to it in an extreme. Like, I mean, just listening to death metal in general, a lot of the themes are like aggressive, and you listen to aggressive music to kind of like get that out of your own system, even though obviously you're not thinking about murdering everybody. If you're just pissed off, you throw in some death metal, and it kind of calms you down in some weird way because it's cathartic. I think the same thing applies with this kind of music, where it's, I mean, not that I listen to lyrics most of the time anyway, but there's some sort of catharsis and like vicariously, I guess, experiencing it through music in some ways, or being empathetic with what's happening in the song, even if they're fictional characters. Like, just kind of having that relation, I think, is valid in it. That's why I listen to a lot of the fucking sad music, I guess.
That's why we're sad boys.
Hashtag sad boys for life. It would be really sad if we were tag cans. I started laughing as I was trying to think about it. Track number 6 is armed strawberry.
Right off the bat, my favorite pun.
Yeah, it's a good
strawberry.
It's a good one. I don't know if it's my favorite pun on the album, but it's a good one for sure.
God, it's so good. I think I've heard it before too. Is the thing. But
the pun or the song?
The pun, not the song.
Yeah, I think Adam and I did. There was a meme that we saw way back in the day. We've quoted it several times. There was a dude in this was back before memes were even like a big thing. But like there's a dude that looked really rough, and he was in like a strawberry costume, like one of the Fruit of the Loom costumes, but it was like a strawberry. I think he had a gun, or maybe just like looked really fucked up or something. But the caption was like, "Hello, police. I'd like to report a strawberry," kind of a thing. Which maybe that's why this one isn't my favorite on this, because I definitely heard it before. But it's a good pun, regardless.
Oh my god, it's so good. But
pretty good song too.
Yeah, for sure. It's got like, it doesn't have the crazy electro intro type thing. It hits straight into the like super brutal like growling and chugging type stuff. And this one here, like between the first like verse and the chorus and that little like in between section, it's got this thing where the guitar line matches up with the way the drum machine hits, but it does it in like, I know it's not glitching, but it sounds like it's glitching in a way. Like, it's just like a cool little, I don't know. I really appreciate the way he makes sounds. It's just really,
it's very creative. And it's like, it's kind of like novel. I mean, I'm sure somebody else has done very similar things, because that's just the nature of things existing. But he's clearly like, he's experimenting. He's trying things that aren't traditional, I suppose, or aren't done commonly, and kind of tweaking them and making them his own. And he's clearly developed his own style. He has several albums of this shit, and they're all pretty fucking good. Like, I bought all of his music on Bandcamp because I was so enamored. And I'm still listening to fucking Blood Orange like every other day or every day, because it's a fucking earworm.
You're gonna turn into an orange, dude.
Yeah. If you listen to Blood Orange too much, you're gonna turn into a Blood Orange. Some fucking parents would tell you. But yeah, I would definitely mosh some berries to this song. It's very it's so hype. It's so
Hell
like
yeah.
intense, and there's a whole lot going on. And there's that kind of I noticed there's a little chip tone kind of synthy sound happening faintly throughout the song that I dig. There's like a washed out breakdown in this track, and then it just ends just as brutal as it starts. And lyrically, it's just back to murdering people. It's leaning back on the whole "I'm gonna kill you" kind of vibe that he has throughout a lot of the album.
Yeah. Other than all of that, because I don't have too much to say that hasn't already been said, but there is one part. I think it was after the first chorus where there's like, I don't know, a chugging rhythm that the guitar and the drum get into. And it gave me some vibes that I haven't gotten since like the first time that I listened to like the first Death album.
Hell
And
yeah,
like,
yes.
it was just
I had a
insane.
similar thing. I don't know if it was on this track, but as I was like getting my notes together for this album, I definitely thought like, man, this kind of like almost sounds like Death Clock
Yeah.
in some ways. So it might have been the same riff that you're talking about.
It probably was, and keeping in line with our every episode plug Metalocalypse, go listen.
Go watch Metalocalypse and listen to all the Death albums.
Yeah,
Some good ass metal.
yeah.
Sure.
Or else you'll end up being a blue berry if your name is Berry.
I mean,
Ah,
yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I mean, I guess he had to pun it.
yeah.
So track number 7 is called Blueberry, but it's spelled like the album title is, where berry is like the animal bear instead of a berry, because blueberry is already a thing, I guess.
So this one is a completely different song.
It's a sad boy song.
Like, it's completely different than like anything so far on the album, and except for one little part later,
Yeah.
everything that comes after this song, like, there's no brutality other than, I guess, the subject matter. There's not really a lot of like metal or anything. It's just a somber kind of, I guess, sad, like just a slow emotional like dance, which is weird to say that. But
It's got kind of like a driving kind of dancey beat throughout it that kind of makes you bob your head, even if it's like still chill and subdued and somber.
yeah, but like it really points to the fact that he can, I mean, he's just talented at making music, like, because he can make all the other crazy shit, but then, I mean, to hit an emotional point, he can do it and do it well. Yeah. I like the song.
I agree. I also really like the song. Lyrically, it's kind of a reprisal of Berried Alive, because it uses a lot of the same lyrics, but this one feels less of like a survival's guilt or survivor's guilt and like repercussions track, and more about the grief and sorrow of having a friend that dies, where he's kind of just like, he's going through it and he's missing the person that killed themselves, kind of a thing.
I'm about to tie this back.
Do it.
In a way, to Berried Alive. So, the song Berried Alive, it was more about survivor's guilt, right?
Yep.
And it's called Berried Alive. So that's at the beginning. I said like Berried Alive, like Barry is
a person.
He's a person and he's alive now. So Barry's alive and he's feeling survivor's guilt because his friend killed himself. And now in that song, he said that he was blue too. He is blue again, and now he is blue Barry. In the song that is more sad.
Right.
And it was just like, whenever I was like, I'm skirting the line between trying to figure out if there's some sort of through line, like, in the rest of the album to this Barry character or not. But
yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was like. I try not to put a whole lot of thought into it, because it was super unclear in a lot of the tracks, like I've said a couple times now, like who specifically he's referring to in a lot of this stuff. So it's like it's vague enough that like it could be interpreted many ways, and I just didn't want to spend a lot of energy dwelling on trying to nail it down to one kind of a thing, because
come on, man,
it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm not a lyric guy anyway, you know.
No, it's fine. It's totally cool.
But yeah, I really like this track. It's kind of a cool tie back to Berried Alive, even without like a through line kind of a thing. But added dimensionality is cool as shit. So maybe, Charles, if you're listening to this, leave us a fucking comment and tell us what's what on this album, or maybe fucking we can have a follow up where we talk about your music in general and just
Yeah.
kind of hang out. That'd be cool as shit too.
That would be probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. So.
Well, I don't want to like peer pressure him into like joining. We should probably back off a little bit. That way he doesn't feel like he's being peer pressured to talk to us.
Jeremy, I think it's pronounced peer pressure.
Yeah, but track number 8 is pronounced peer pressure. Killing it. Okay, this one is sinister sounding as fuck. I really like it. It's got this like echoey kind of harpsichord feel over the slow, almost waltzy beat, and I really like the musical aesthetic of this. It still has this kind of like technical death metal mayhem chaos stuff going on in the middle sections, and he makes his guitar at some point scream like some sort of weird fucking banshee, and it's fantastic, and it just sounds nice. His vocal melodies are really nice in this one. I really like to sing to this song. I just like this whole song in general.
Hey, I like this song too, and I really appreciate the beginning where he doesn't, I don't know, after the kind of the somber slowness of the last song, which is something unexpected. Like, it's been, before that, it was 6 tracks of like insane craziness in your face, and then it melts away to like this more slow.
Melts away. For those who haven't listened to the album, because we didn't explicitly mention it, he in Berried Alive and Blueberry, he mentions the world melting away as kind of like someone's dying, and they're seeing the world kind of melt away. But, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
Oh no,
I totally did.
No, my train of thought is, oh my god, I lost it.
I told you. That's why I apologize. I knew you had lost it.
I know what I'm saying. It's just so hard for me to form a thought in the first place. But yeah, like, so just not immediately jumping back into it. Like, this song kind of eases you in. I mean, not like it takes a long time. Within the first minute of the song, it's backed pretty much
right, but it has an introduction section.
Yeah, and it's nice, and that banshee sound, like, it is so sinister is a great word for it, because it's like a sound that I have heard before, and I actually, back whenever I was like a metal person and like trying to play the guitar, I would try to make that specific sound so much just because I thought it was so cool. It's like a Floyd Rose, like the tremolo, whatever the fuck it's called, with like the wedge bar, but that you can pull up to make it sound higher, is super cool.
Is very cool. That's just, again, Charles is a fucking creative dude that like uses his guitar and the software available to him to make like some really impressive, cool, novel kind of music sounds, and I think it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Lyrically, I think the music fits it pretty damn perfectly, in that like when there's kind of the slower kind of mysterious sections at the beginning and the end, it's kind of coupled with quote unquote innocent lyrics where he's talking about like, hey, like I'm gonna stop by, I'm gonna take you for a ride, I'm gonna apologize because I fucked up, kind of thing. And he's just like, I'm just trying to clear the air, it's cool, I fucked up, please forgive me. And then the metal comes in and it's like, psych, fuck you, I'm gonna murder you, I'm not sorry at all. And I'm assuming this is what you were referring to in one of the prior tracks, where I think he mentioned that he was going to throw somebody's body in a dumpster. Yep. This one, he's throwing their body into a swamp.
Yeah. Heart as filthy as the swamp you're thrown inside. It's
pretty good line.
Yeah. And rot away as you feed the flies. Because those flies are hungry too.
Pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. It really is. Like, the brutality of a fruit man.
Brutality. The fruitality of a brute man. Brutality of a fruit man.
Oh shit! It's, I don't know. I have, like, as weird as this is gonna sound, like, it's kind of nice to have a break in the lyrical content to just be, I don't know. I heard metal described one time as like watching a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's just like you said. It's not like, I don't know, like there's songs that you listen to the lyrics to and you're just like, I can super relate to this and whatever. Nobody's listening to, I'm not going to say nobody. Almost nobody is listening to this music and being like, yeah, I can relate to this. I can relate to tying up somebody and throwing them in a swamp. But it's just like, I don't know, it's like watching a violent movie or something where you're just like, it's a little bit of just like, I'm angry, or I want to be scared, or I want to feel this emotion that nowhere else in my life I could ever feel it.
Right.
So it's just cool little thing to break up the
Yeah.
the other
The
rut
other
that
cool things.
yeah, the other cool things that are always happening because life's just cool all the time.
You know what else is really cool?
God damn it, Jeremy, what are you gonna say?
God damn it. I really like this track. I think this God damn it was the first track that I heard by him that wasn't Blood Orange. And I think that's kind of why this album stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Is because I was more familiar with it. But God damn it, it's track number 9. Clever pun. I like that pun a lot as well. Because jam, berries, you don't need me to explain the pun. Puns are simple by design. But this track, it starts kind of slow and electro-y, which is not unlike much of the album. But this one feels like it has more like suspense and motivation in it. Like I get this like image that there's like a madman walking toward a child in a horror movie, and I'm the child, kind of a thing, where it's just lurking at me, kind of a thing. The clean vocal sections in this one, always a treat. It almost has like a poppy layer effect in this one with like a backing track kind of repeating a phrase underneath the main vocals. The solo in this track is incredible. It feels so good and clean, and the music really like backs off to let it shine. And then there's like a second, more upbeat solo that's pretty catchy, but it's I guess it's not necessarily a solo as much as like him just playing an arpeggio section, kind of a thing. And then that section melts back into this kind of like raging, just death metal breakdown kind of a thing. So it's kind of a fun like ride of a track with some cool soloing and stuff.
Yeah, this song at this point, I'll go ahead and say I think this is my favorite song on the whole album.
Hell yeah.
So I can, if this was your very first introduction to Berried Alive, like, of course you love them because this song's fucking awesome.
It's a very cool song.
It's like, so this guitar line that goes through the chorus, or I think it's like right before the chorus and then leads a little bit into the chorus, but it's like, so he does all this like cool, super awesome, high soloing, whatever type stuff, but his like low chuggy riff lines are just fucking sick with how fast they go, like along with the drums. It's just like, it's like a solo that's meant to be just a normal part of the song, just like part of the rhythm or whatever, but it's still extremely impressive.
It's like instead of having like a solo section in a song, you just have a solo layer. It's just like another like layer that's constantly there throughout the song. He's just soloing different ways.
Pretty much. I mean, that's honestly how it is. And then like, so he's got the chorus and like the solo and I don't know, all this awesome stuff. But then like whenever the bridge hits, it slows down like slow
Yeah.
to like, I don't know. I like slow stuff, so maybe that's why I like this. But it slows down a ton, and then launches into like a space age guitar, like just a guitar run that sounds like a dream. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It sounds like it's poppy kind of. It's
it kind of, a lot of it reminds me of like the Daft Punk kind of like Discovery era, like solos kind of a thing that they have like with their synthesizers and stuff.
Super fucking cool. Really cool song. If you're not gonna listen to this whole album, I'd recommend at least listening to this song and then reevaluating if you want to listen to the whole album.
I agree, and then also listen to Blood Orange because
that
song, man, I'm telling you, it's an addiction for me at this point.
I mean, that song, honestly, it's gotten stuck in my head more than any of the songs on this album. So
yeah. It's fucking catchy. Lyrically, I'm curious what you got from this because I kind of like, I don't know. So to me, I get the image of someone that's overdosing on drugs and dying, and they've left their friends that are now feeling this kind of grief and guilt, and they're getting high to numb themselves over the pain of losing someone. That's kind of like this vicious cycle. I'm not really sure how it relates to the prior tracks because I mean he's talking about suicide a couple times on this album now, and I'm not really sure like where the characters line up in this story.
Yeah, see, I got the same thing about like somebody who's like got a really intense addiction to some sort of intravenous drug just from the intro, it says shot to the vein for the climb. You're out of time. So
Yeah.
I think, but he's got like friends who are trying to help him, who are like warning this person, and just not listening, ends up overdosing and dying. And then the friends are just left there like, well, what the fuck? Okay. Oh my God. I guess we're going to fuck our lives up too, because what the hell?
Yeah.
And, but see, I don't know if this has to do, if this is just completely unrelated to the songs before and it's starting a new arc, because it kind of does, or if the person who overdosed is the person I was naming as Barry,
Hmm.
from who was already grieving from earlier.
Right.
But I don't, that there's no real connection there. It's just kind of what I've created in my head.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of fits with I think the rest of the album thematically. If Barry was alive and at this point he's kind of killed himself from overdosing because of all the other trauma that was addressed in the album, I guess. But maybe he can rest in peace, Peaches.
Man, when I die,
You
put
want that on
me,
your tombstone?
no, just put me in the peach can
Peach can.
and just bury me inside of peaches.
You
Then you can put rest in peaches on my tombstone.
Rest in Peaches is track number 10, which
Woo!
is it's a pun on a very sad topic, I suppose. Which maybe it's a thing. Maybe Charles just like that's how he copes with a lot of the shit that he's dealing with is just by like humor, and this is kind of an extension of that, where he's like making puns about his friends dying or something, or someone that he knows dying, kind of a thing.
I mean, everybody's got their way to grieve,
It's true.
so if it works for you, it works. But this song is I don't know, it's got like a harpsichord type
Mm-hmm.
sounding, and I don't know if it's a harpsichord. I don't know if it's his guitar. Honestly, at this point,
Right.
I'm guessing it's his
It's
guitar.
all his guitar. Even the drums are his guitar.
Oh my, wouldn't that be some shit? I could see him playing that though, because I
Yeah,
mean, you can strum that fast, so you could make
it's
drums go
true.
that fast. But yeah, it's got like that harpsichord type thing playing over the like a drum machine. Like it's not like really a trap beat, but it's like
Right. It's
some
kind of it's a little sprinkly. It's got that like low. It's almost like an 808 kind of
yeah,
pulsing bass.
and it's like the same clean type of style as like Blueberry, in the way that like there's not really any of like the death metal elements
Yeah,
that are like right in your face throughout the rest. It's a more I guess, laid back sound. It's at least not like punching you
yeah.
in the
It's more
face.
subdued.
Yeah, but whereas Blueberry was sadness and grieving and tr- I don't know, kind of like acceptance in a way, just
Yeah.
like not fighting it, you're just feeling it. This is like the bitterness and anger that I'm imagining the friends of the person who overdosed in the last song are feeling currently. And they're now having their own suicidal thoughts because they can't cope with that.
Hmm. See, that's interesting. So like, I definitely got like the darker tone. It's still kind of depressed, but it's more twisted in some ways. But lyrically, like I don't know. It seemed to me it's framed as from the perspective of someone who has killed themselves, and they're like talking. He's talking about like how they're looking out of the casket and he's seeing somebody at their funeral that never gave a shit about them, kind of thing is what I was getting. Kind of, I think it was tying back to now that he's dead. Earlier in the album, he mentioned that there was somebody that was using him for fame or success or whatever it is. This is like he's died, and now that person's showing up at their funeral pretending to mourn, pretending to care, like they were tight, kind of a thing. And it's just because he says with your insincere condolence, kind of a thing. And I don't know, it just gave me that vibe that he's talking about that earlier character that has come back now that he's dead to kind of like pretend to care.
I think you're right. I hate to admit it. I hate to be wrong, but I think you're right. I was seeing it from the point of I don't know, like somebody who's like I guess I was seeing it from the point of somebody who is at the funeral and seeing other people at the funeral who
Yeah.
didn't care, but it makes way more sense to be from the point of view of like the dead person.
Yeah, I mean the first lyrics he says I was hating every moment, body laying broken, soon I would be fading to the sky. So that kind of maybe like it put me in the casket, kind of looking out. He does say casket, leave it open. I'm not just pulling casket out of my ass for those who haven't listened to the song. But like
Not just
there's
pulling,
definitely a funeral happening.
not just pulling casket out of my asket.
The fuck out of it. I mean I guess I'll allow it because this is a punny album. So ask it, leave it open.
Oh my god! But yeah, I think you're right. I'm wrong.
That's the end. Next
I'm,
track.
I'm letting go of my need to be right all the time.
There you go. Track number 11. I'm letting go. Or I guess Joey's letting go at this point.
Yeah. And this one is like the metal accompaniment kind of, or the metal continuation of Rest in Peaches. And it's also not a pun.
It's true. Is that the first one that's not a pun in any way?
I think it is. I think it's the only one.
Other than potentially Dingleberries, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the next one might not technically be a pun, but
yeah. We'll get there when we get there. I meant thus far.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the only one that is clearly not a pun.
Yeah.
But it could definitely, I mean, like you said, it's an extension in a way of Rest in Peaches, so it maybe could be lumped in together.
I'll do that just to keep up the punness.
the pun.
Yeah, but this one's like the metal accompaniment. It's got like, I don't know, I like it. I like the fact that he had the clean version and then the metal add-on, due to the fact that like rather than the sadness and the grief and everything, he was talking more about like the bitterness and the anger coming from the presumably, if Jeremy's right, which he is, coming from the dead person. Like it's I don't know, it's nice to hear the anger expressed both ways.
Yeah, so in my through line, in my mind, in the story, right, there's the dude's dead, he's laying in his own casket, he's looking out and seeing this person at his funeral. This song it immediately starts with him growling a slight variation of the chorus from the last track. But that kind of like made me think that he's some sort of zombie, and he's reviving just to like say like fuck you for showing up at my funeral. I'm not dead, but I know that you're fake as fuck now because like you don't belong here at my funeral. You're not welcome here. Like, or maybe it's just like he's not literally coming back to life, but that's kind of like you're saying the anger side of that, where he's just like he's ready to fucking kill this guy even though he's dead and can't do anything.
But maybe he can. Maybe he can manifest his own anger into some sort of real being.
Yeah, plot twist. This is an album about zombies.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Or like, what's that? What's the word? A tulpa. That's like a physical manifestation of, I guess, a desire. But I guess if your desire is to
murder somebody,
want to murder somebody, you could somehow summon some sort of like emotional demon being. Or
something. Sure, that's totally what this track's about. Yeah, this one has more layered vocals for the chorus. I think he's like at this point of the album, like he's really developed a nice sound, and he sticks to it a lot of the time. He definitely has a lot of variety on this album, but it's all like that variety, I guess, is his sound, and he kind of like sticks to it a lot. It's got another nice solo in this track, and then it has kind of like a piano kind of lowering the energy at the end and just kind of like letting everything sink in that this character is dead, or that everything that this character is trying to get across, that it's just kind of, it's the end.
Yeah. So that power metal feeling that I was talking about earlier, with like the wind blowing at your hair and back at the same time somehow. I got that feeling in this guitar solo. I feel like it is, and this is really saying something, one of the more technically impressive guitar solos on the album. Like it just, I don't know, it just sounds super cool. It feels like it's really hard to play. And back when I was a younger person, a teenager, in fact, I would try, like me and one of my neighbors would try to come up with like the most fucking like epic, super brutal way that you could like imagine playing a super awesome guitar solo.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with like, I don't know, like, so you're on a stage and you get picked, the stage gets picked up by a tornado. So you're flying through the tornado and you're spinning around on the stage still.
Yeah.
And you're like super high in the air, but you're still playing and you're just like, yeah, shredding it out, man, going nuts. And then like it starts like the sky starts getting all like orange and red and all this shit. And then you get struck by lightning
Yeah.
at the moment. But it's like that cartoon lightning where whenever you get struck by lightning, you're like,
Your skeleton lights
yeah,
up inside of you.
yeah, you're a skeleton. And it's like if somebody took a picture at that exact moment when you were a skeleton getting struck by lightning, slightly on fire, on a tornado with a red sky above you, that would be the kind of feeling that I got whenever I listened.
This is straight up a Metalocalypse concert.
But that's what I felt. So
Well, that's a great visual to have for another nice, super slick solo on this album. So I think it's safe to say he's proficient with the guitar.
Yeah.
Fuck all the haters.
I thought you said you weren't taking a stance.
I wasn't, but he's a cool dude. He seems to be a cool dude. He makes cool shit music, so fuck everyone else.
Yes.
Fuck him.
Fuck you.
Lyrically, this one kind of ties back to the prior track, I think, in my mind, where it ties the prior track into earlier themes on the album, where he's just kind of getting fucking sick of everything and he's ready to kill everyone, including himself, kind of thing at this point, where it's tying the themes of suicide and the themes of wanting to kill everyone else together and just saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm part of everyone, so we're all gonna fucking die.
And they will. Everybody's going to die. I mean, he said there's going to be none of you left, which I guess maybe he talked about himself too. So there's just going to be literally nobody left. Because, I mean, he brings back the. Oh, I guess that's the next song. I was thinking of the callback. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. He's talking about killing everybody. He's gonna. And the next song is called Berry Blast.
Where he talks about killing everybody.
Yeah.
He brings back the none of you left is what you were getting at in the last track.
Yeah. And I had already switched
so did I.
Switched notes and I was like, yeah, that's totally the same song. Oh wait, no, it's not.
Haven't moved on yet. But now we have Berry Blast. This one starts off with some like sweet bass. Side note, I don't know if she was at this point in time, but his girlfriend plays the bass for all of this music, as far as I'm aware. So it's just it's him and her for their band, which is cool as shit.
Yeah.
But this one has kind of a sweet bass line and some synth kind of sounds and some clean vocals. And I don't know. Overall, it's kind of another like sinister, evil sounding track, in my opinion. The drums and lead guitar come in, and it kind of continues the twisted carnival feel that I mentioned earlier. The verse in this track specifically feels a lot more rapped than in the other ones. Like he's kind of doing like a rap kind of verse with it, but with harsh vocals. And this is where I drew the parallel to Slipknot in my notes. But it's heavier, which may be a controversial take, I guess, if you're a Slipknot fan. But like it's a lot more like genty and low and shit like that.
It's solo in a way.
Yeah, the solo in this track, pretty dank. I like the solo a lot. He's got a lot of like stretched, modulated vocals that go on in the background at points where it's like he's taking a vocal file and just stretching it and making it last longer, and it kind of like deteriorates and it gives like a weird unsettling feeling. And I don't know, I really like the aesthetic of the song, and then it kind of like falls apart at the end, which is fun.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of the song, and that guitar solo. I know I said some crazy shit about the last guitar solo, but this one's like super, just like pure shred. Like the last one was like that super technical, which I mean, I know shred and technical like kind of go hand in hand. But if you listen to both of the songs, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe.
Yeah, go listen to both of them.
I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm talking about. This one's like, I don't know. It sounds more like a like a shred guitar, like the tone is there. And the last one was more like, I don't know, electronic, I guess, kind of sounding like it had been processed, like he did stuff to it. This one sounds like you just plugged into a fucking amp and you're just like, wow, little squealy, like type thing. But yeah,
is that a pedal that you can buy?
I don't know, man. I'm sure it is. I'm sure somebody made one.
It's true. There are a lot of fucking pedals out there.
And I mean, anybody with the know-how can really do whatever.
It's
But
true. And Charles is proving that time and time again on this album, where
yeah,
like he probably spent a lot of time fucking around with his music software and was like, yeah, I can make some really cool sounds for my guitar if I just feed them through these plugins or whatever.
Other than that, there is a little hidden gem at the very end, very tail end of the song, where he's just thanking everybody nicely for listening to the songs that he made, listening to the album, and he also has a nice little tidbit of advice that
Wisdom, just pure wisdom.
Yeah, pure wisdom, the truest wisdom. If you fuck a couch, everyone loses, apparently. Which, honestly, hearing that, it made me think of Psycho Stick, like something that they would like
Yeah.
write a whole song about, like not just mention, but they would write an entire song about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a nice touch. Like it's the end of the album, it's pretty heavy subject matter throughout a lot of it. So it's kind of like bringing more of the comedy aspect up, where he's like, I have a person, like, haha, here's a joke, kind of a thing. And then you hear the spacebar click as like he's done recording, kind of a thing, which was just kind of I don't know if it was intentional or not. I'm sure it was left in intentionally.
Yeah,
But it was just kind of a nice little nugget of wisdom. And then you hear him sign off from the album with like the clicking of a spacebar or something to signify that he's done recording.
it's pretty cool.
It is lyrically, outside of the couch wisdom. This one seemed again to be about that fake person that was using him for their own success. The song is pretty much him just telling them that they're not going to ever amount to anything because they didn't put in any of the work at the beginning. So that person only has memories of how things were back when he and Charles were friends. And it makes me super curious about like who that person is in relation to Charles. Maybe not like specifically their name and shit, but like who the album and those songs on the album, I guess, were written about. That was like, was it like a former bandmate kind of a thing that he tried to make music with, and like what are they doing now, kind of thing. Just it makes me curious.
Maybe if we ever get that follow up with him,
Yeah,
we'll be able to know.
I feel like he wouldn't out that person though. Like if he was going to, he probably would have.
Well, you know, maybe,
Hey Charles, if you want to out that person, hit me up. I'm curious.
but I just want to know. I'm curious because for some reason I feel like I deserve that information about your private life. You should tell me because you owe that to me. God, I sound like a fucking idiot. I know I'm joking.
Joey's the paparazzi.
But I sound like a dickbag. Don't be that person, people.
Yeah, don't be. Let artists have private lives.
I was making a joke and then I got too real.
Overall, though, I found this band because of the Blood Orange music video. Go check that out. The song's amazing. This album is a bit older than that song. I don't know when this album came out. I should have
2018.
2018. So it's not that older, but it is a little bit older. So it lacks kind of the same feel, I suppose, as Blood Orange, but it definitely still captures a lot of his style and the chaos that he wanted. And this album is something that I can just like throw on and mosh in my living room by myself. But I like it. I like it a lot. And
I like it too.
This was fun. I was kind of excited to see what your thoughts were for it, and
I wanted to hate it.
What you were predicting next.
I really wanted to hate it.
Why'd you want to hate it? Because I hyped it up so much.
Because you hyped it up so much, and because you hated Hella. And I'm never gonna.
I mean, clearly there's a distinction between this and Hella. So
no, I didn't. I guess I didn't want to hate this specifically. I want you to recommend me an album that I don't like. I want that to happen.
I can probably make it happen if that's what you really want.
I kind of want it to happen because I want to be able to like have a reason to look at an album that I don't like. But I don't know.
I'll think on it.
It's not going to happen next week because
why not? What are we doing next week?
We're listening to an album by Ween.
I didn't put it on our notes, so Joey kind of like, I'm assuming what happened is Joey looked over to see what album was next, and then realized it was blank.
That is totally not what happened.
We're listening to a Ween album. What Ween album?
If you're from Canada, you know this one, Quebec.
I mean, you don't have to be from Canada to know it, though.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, I guess what you're saying wasn't true, or wasn't not true, because if you're from Canada, you would know it, presumably. Yeah. I'm sure there's some Canadian that doesn't, right? Maybe.
There's probably a lot of... I doubt there's even one single Canadian that doesn't at least know of Quebec, the place, which would
Right.
mean that if you were like talking about it, they'd at least be like, yeah, they could act like they knew what you're talking about.
Canadians, leave us some comments, leave us some subscribes and likes, because we are so in touch with you people.
Yeah, you people, Jesus,
You people,
the fuck is
all of you people. Follow us on our social medias. Let us know what you think of this album. Send some love to the artist, Charles. He seems like a cool dude, and it seems like he's trying to. He's feeling attacked. So go tell all the haters to fuck off. And if you're a hater here listening to this, fuck off. I'll tell you directly myself. Follow us on all of our platforms. We're on all the podcasting places. Leave us some comments, some support, some hearts. Leave us some Fs in the chat. Because I don't know. It's a thing that Twitch streamers do, I guess.
Yeah, but that's like when something bad happens.
I mean, this podcast is pretty bad.
Oh shit, F's in the chat, boys.
But most of all, stay on our feedback loop.
Bye.